It's been a long journey. And I'm sure it must not have been easy. It's not been an easy sector. It's been a sector full of challenges over the last few decades. And within that situation, to start from a small one-room office and build up Powerline to an organization that I think almost all of us look up to, receiving the powerhouse of information that this magazine brings to our homes and offices. And with that, you have also expanded quite a bit into Renewable Watch and the infrastructure, overall infrastructure magazine that you've come up with. I don't know why Gujarat alone has a special magazine amongst all the states. But broadly, the fact that Powerline has focused itself to the infrastructure sector, more particularly power, has helped them to evolve into a very incisive encyclopedia of knowledge of this sector. And the advantage of such a magazine is that we get a very impartial and an independent view, particularly when we are making policies. So in that sense, it's always interesting to see. I hadn't seen any other magazine come up with comparable quality of information. And in that sense, I was just reading as I was walking up the headline of this issue in August: supply surplus, surge in coal production poses new challenges. And I picked it up because that really is the subject that's been grappling my attention in the last few days. Yesterday I was with Coal India Limited working on how we need to address this issue. And this evening, just before coming here, we were at a meeting while we were reviewing and monitoring the Uday program so far and how it has impacted DISCOMs, what the trajectory going forward with the DISCOMs is. This particular issue also came up. Only I want to share with you that this is not a challenge. It's a fantastic opportunity. I think who could have wanted anything better? I'm sure anybody in this room will agree with me that this is what you always wanted. You certainly didn't want to live in a country where coal is rationed out like it was some great, I don't know, pot of gold or silver coin or something. And the fact that people have to be stressed for a simple thing like coal. And the fact that the nation over so many years did not have the ability to even expect that we can be a coal surplus country. So instead of working towards resolving this problem, we actually took the soft spot of designing our power plants based on imported coal. I think it is so unfortunate that today, when we have so much coal, we continue to import coal because the design of our power plants cannot take much more of our indigenous coal. To my mind, that's a situation for which probably all of us and our mindset of the industry is to blame. The fact that we could not assess the potential of Coal India, the fact that we could not visualize that a country which has 300 billion tons of coal should not be depending on imports but should be working maybe overtime and super actively to see how we can mine more coal. I think the whole thinking, which has undergone a metamorphosis of sorts in the last couple of years, is what was required maybe several decades ago. But better late than never, as they say, and I'm glad that I have to work on this opportunity where we have surplus coal. And I'm delighted to share with you, only yesterday Coal India presented to me that they've worked out with 10 power generators and coal consumers a replacement of about 15 million tons of imported coal in the next 6 months with the indigenous coal. And I've worked out the modalities and the way this is going to work going forward. In the next 1 week, we are working with other power plants. I would urge Powerline and also all of you in this room to see what new ideas you can come up with towards replacing imported coal with indigenous coal. Maybe BHEL, if somebody is there from BHEL, could look at modifying some of this equipment so that that could also become a user of indigenous coal or in greater degree. The plants which have been designed on probably higher grades of coal. We on our end are working to see how we can rationalize prices further, what we can do to improve the quality and grading of coal so that there's no grade slippage. And together, if all of us work together in this, I have no doubt in my mind that this issue of power line will help us to look at the way forward to resolve one of the problems that this country has faced for years and years and convert that problem into first a challenge, as they have mentioned, and then an opportunity. In fact, as we move forward, I'm sure renewable energy is going to take center stage, and we're going to see more and more generation of power from renewable energy. So towards that end, you're coming out with the Renewable Watch has also been a very interesting development. We have very ambitious plans, and only yesterday the country has ratified the agreement, the Paris Agreement of COP21. So we are now the part of the global effort to address this challenge of climate change. India believes it is a global responsibility. We will all have to participate in this, in fulfilling this international obligation of keeping the temperature or increase in temperature down to below 2 degrees. But having said that, we also believe, and which we have been successful in putting into the Paris Declaration, that the world will have to look at more sustainable lifestyles. We are very concerned about wasteful uses of energy. We are very concerned about how the developed world is going to respond to this challenge in terms of the demand side management of their consumption. And we're going to be watching what the world does in terms of financing, low-cost financing, long tenor financing, availability of modern technology, so that this effort that all of us are working towards can truly bear fruit. We can make renewable energy a part of our efforts also for energy security, and going forward, more and more energy gets produced through renewable sources of energy. I'm sure when you take all the various initiatives together, that will be the true future of this sector, where right from generation to transmission, distribution, influx of renewable into it, grid stability, the last mile connectivity to the millions who still don't have power, all of these various initiatives will dovetail together and bring out a better and brighter future for this industry. We are looking at, apart from shifting to renewable energy, we are looking towards making distributed energy production, where consumers themselves start generating power in their backyard, in their rooftops, will also have an important role. Our rooftop program is slated to expand manifold from 300 megawatt today to 40,000 megawatt in the next 6 years. I don't think there is a comparable example in history of a roll-up of any program at this scale. But I think it's eminently doable in a country like India. It will add not only to our energy security, but it will give a lot of support to the people living in distant villages, to the common man in far off areas, get power through distributed energy sources. Of course, as storage becomes cheaper and more affordable, that will also give a great boost to the distributed energy program. We're looking at using modern technology to create smart grids in the country so that more and more people get connected through technology in terms of monitoring their own usage, in terms of controlling wasteful consumption. I would ideally like to see every consumer having a smart meter at his home, which gives you a 250 million meter opportunity. And if all of us will have a smart meter at home, we will not only be able to address the problem of power theft and high AT&C losses, being able to isolate those feeders where the problems of AT&C losses are high, but we'll also